Assalamu alaikum everyone. So this is the second part of our lab 8. So in this particular part of the today's lab, you will see different data handling process, how we are going to handle different sorts of datas. Okay, so especially in this lab, you will see how we can import a various range of datas, maybe in the matrix format, maybe in the tabular format, maybe as a CSV file format. How we can import different datas, how we can import different images, as well as how we can do some image processing. A very simple image processing techniques here you will see in today's lab. So over here what you will see that first of all we will try to see the very beginning of our lab, that is the data importing. Okay, so while working with the data, so you will see various wide ranges of data. Some may be text files, some may be CSV files, some may be images, audios, or maybe some JSON file. So different file, you have to import the data in a different way. Okay, but that's totally depend whether on your experience. So if you are too much experienced, then you will see, or you will yeah, in the later part of today's lab you will also see that for different data you should use different uh, built-in functions, otherwise it will not work properly, or you will get some error data. Okay, so that's it. So first of all, before starting it, there is a saying that is called the image data. Okay, so into the image data, how we can import different images. So the very basic function is called the imread. Okay, so let me show you a very simple example, that is whenever this is a colored image, and whenever you are working with a colored image, then at that time you will see that maybe like this pattern. Okay, so this is a simple and a RGB image. Okay, this is a color picture. So every color picture is a form of three color channels. One is called the red channel, then the G, that is the green channel, and the last one is the channel or plane, what you might say, that is the blue. So for each, so you may represent each pixel with a 8-bit binary format, or something like 16-bit binary. Okay, so for each pixel, you will see that whenever you are working with an 8-bit image, okay, at that time the bit size will be 2 to the power 8. Okay, so maximum 2 to the power 8 values can be represented. So it's the range is between from 0 to 255. So for this particular pixel, if you say that well, in the R plane you have 255, in the G plane you have the 0, and at the last plane, that is your blue plane, you have a 255. So in together with the values of the three planes, then you might get a different image, a different pixel, different color pixel. Okay, so that's the thing that I want to discuss. Okay, so let me show you a very simple thing, that is how you can import the images inside your MATLAB. Okay, so the very common thing is that, suppose this is my image that I am going to write. Image is equals to, so to import any image data inside your MATLAB, or to read any image data into your MATLAB, the very basic function is called the imread. So imread, so over here you have to give the image name. So right now at this moment here I want to import this particular image. Okay, the name is the pixel.jpg. So while importing the data, or while importing any data or an image, every time you have to mention the name as well as the formatting, otherwise you will not be able to get it. Okay, so right now just simply run it. Okay, So here is an error. What's the error? The error is that I am giving some import, but it doesn't exist. But here in my category in my desktop, I have created a folder where this particular pixel image is stored, but it cannot find it. The reason behind that, uh, every time whenever you are importing any data, okay, you have to change the MATLAB directory, otherwise MATLAB will not find that data, whether it will be an image data, audio data, or a CSV data, whatever the data file or whatever the format it is, it cannot find it. So if you look closely over here, this is the directory path. So at this moment my MATLAB is in this directory. So to read the image, the name pixel, I have to change the directory. So how you can change the directory? So simply click on it, and from over here go to desktop, and right now the folder name, that is the 4416 that I have named, and just simply press select folder. So when you are changing the directory, right now here you can see there is the current folder. Okay, that is the current folder. Under the current folder, here you can see there is a pixel. Okay, so again let me copy this part, and now run it. This time here you can see, this time it's been stored in my workspace, and you can see what's the size: 720 uh, 1280 into 3. So why 3? Because it's a colorful image. It has three channels. One is the R channel, the second one is the G channel, and the last one is the B channel. So that's why there is a 3. Now if we closely look into the values, so right now here you can see there are too many numbers, so it cannot be shown. Okay, now, how you have already imported an image inside your MATLAB. So right now you want to visualize that particular image. Okay, so to visualize or to see any image that you have imported, the keyword is the IM show. IM show. Now, which image you want to show? The image that you have already stored inside your MATLAB. So it's under the name image that I have created. So this is the image, okay, under this pixel name, under this pixel that I have named over here. So this image has been stored, and with the help of the IM show, with the help of your IM show built-in function, you will be able to visualize the image that you have imported. Okay, so the very basic part, that how you can actually import your image file. Okay, now the next part is I am going to import some Excel files. Okay, so there is a thing, whenever you are working with some Excel files or some CSV file or some data file, you have various way to import those things. Okay, so let me first give you a very basic idea how you can import the datas. Okay, so first of all, we are going to do this thing under this worldcities.csv that is already available in the GitHub. So go through them. So here you can see this is the image data, and it's a CSV format data. That means comma separated. Okay, so this is the tabular format data or a table data that you have right now. So to give or to import any table data inside your MATLAB, the built-in function is called the read table. Okay, so let me go over here. Suppose this is the CSV data that I have named. Okay, so as I have already seen in my Excel, that is a table format data, and the name, that is the worldcities.csv. So this format data I am going to import this. So whenever you are going to import the data, so every time the directory of that file needs to be installed or needs to be initiated inside your MATLAB. Okay, and the file name, so that is the world cities. Then the file extension, that's another important thing. Every time while importing any data, every time you have to import the extension, file extension as well. So this is the CSV format data. It's taking a while because it's a lot of data, right? So here you can see this is the CSV data that I have stored. Okay, so this is one way to import your data inside your MATLAB. Let me show you another way. Oh, sorry. There is another way by directly you can give your data to your MATLAB. Okay, now it's much more user friendly to me because at that time you don't need to set the MATLAB directory to that part. Okay, other than you can browse your data and directly import the data inside your MATLAB. Okay, so go to import data, this particular section under your home tab. Under your home tab, here you will see there is a section that is called the import data from file. So click on it. So after clicking on it, it will give you a browsing window. So luckily for this time, my it's in this particular folder. So if the data file that I am right now at this moment I am going to store, or I'm going to import this particular CSV format data into my MATLAB. So wherever you can simply browse from your browser window, then go to that particular file. Okay, so after reaching to that particular file or directory, suppose I want to import this .csv file, so click on it and then press open. Okay, so one interesting thing over here is that here you can see there are 11 columns. Okay, there are 11 columns, and from our previous lecture I have already told you that whenever for a different column, okay, for different column, they are called the features. They are called the features. Suppose the city ASCII, latitude, longitude, they are the features. And whenever you are working with a single row or multiple rows, they are called the samples. Okay. Now, in this way, when you are importing a particular data to your MATLAB, what type of data type, it's already visible. So under the column A, the city, the data type is text. Then the city ASCII, it's also text. Then the latitude, it's number. Longitude, it's number. Now another interesting factor over here, that is the categorical. So what's the meaning of the categorical? Okay, so we know that text format data is simply a string format data. Okay, a simple string. Then what's the number? Any numerical format data, 1 2 3 4 5 6, like this pattern. Okay, now what's the categorical data? Categorical data is nothing but it's a simple uh, you can say as like a group data. Okay, so a classification of a group, a particular group. Suppose in a particular section you have like 50 students. So out of 50 students, 30 students are male and 20 students are female. Okay, so if the all the males are classified, then okay, fine, that particular student is a male, it's a male, or it's a female. So it will be classified into a group. Okay, so whenever a data is considered as a group, suppose over here in this particular section, in this particular country column, you will see there will be many times Japan, this particular Japan country name will be available. Okay, suppose there is a Japan over here. Okay, let me give you this. Suppose there is an India, there is a India, then there is also another India. So instead of defining it as a single point, or individual different point, it's going to do what? Under the India section, under this India, you have two different cities, Delhi and Mumbai. But if it's considering as a text, okay, so whenever suppose it's Delhi over here, Delhi, Mumbai, they are considering as a text, so it can vary, it's different. But if India over here and over here, if both of them are considered as a text, then they are two individual separate points. You cannot classify it, or you cannot make it as a group data. So whatever, how many, then if you suppose you have only two India over here, okay, suppose over here one India, two, then you have three, then four, then five, six. So under this first page, here you have seen that the country name is available six times, India, and six different cities. Okay, so what will happen if I don't categorize this country section? Then India, it will be counted as six. Okay, six times India has appeared. But if I make this particular country column as a categorical, then this India, instead of appearing six or multiple times, it will be counted only as single one. Okay, so what if you have the same type of data, all the things will be classified under one section. Then if you have multiple times Japan, it will be considered as a single time Japan, but under a single time you can have a multiple cities. So that's the effectiveness of having the categorical data type. It will be categorized, the data will be categorized or classified, or it will be grouped. So these are the three different sorts of data types. So right now I have to import the data to my MATLAB. So how you can import the data to your MATLAB? So I didn't have, or I haven't saved, or I haven't selected any column. I have just selected only this particular uh, point, India, the country name India. So instead of how you can select, or instead of just selecting a single sample or a single point, you may just select this point or this row, then whatever the file you want to, or whatever the point you want to import, just select that particular point and simply click on this tick mark. Okay, so at this moment I don't want to import only a single sample or a single row. I want to import multiple rows, multiple columns, or the full data set. So what I have to do, I have to select all the columns. So simply press Ctrl, then select the columns. So after selecting all the columns, just simply press import selected data into your MATLAB. So right now, if I go to my MATLAB, here you can see this is the world cities data that's been stored. Okay, so double click on it, then you will be able to see from your workspace, okay, this is the data that I have initiated into my MATLAB. So this is one way, and for me this is the much more easier way to import any data. Okay, suppose from your MATLAB you have another data, that is the uni data, and it's in text. Okay, it's in text format. Okay, so what I'm going to do, here you can see there are multiple departments and different universities. Okay, so what I am going to do, instead of first let me show you the very basic idea how from your MATLAB, now again go to import data, and this time I want to import the university data. So open it. Okay, fine. So here you can see that whenever this is the text format data, it's showing as a CSE, triple E. Then under the number section, it's giving you this numerical data. and whenever there is no data, then it's showing that it's a non-value. Okay, now import this. If you import this, here's your unidata1. You can see this is the text format data and these are the numerical data. Okay, so it's also the data that you have already given in your PC, okay, in your storage. So this is the same format data. Okay, so this is the same format data. You are having all the variables as well as all the rows. Okay, but instead of going through this import data system, what happened if we use a different technique that is also available in your lab sheet? Okay, so this is the first way, using the import data section that I have already shown you. So you can import the data, and that's the most effective one. Okay, but if you don't want to import your data file, okay, in this pattern you can use also different built-in functions, and there are two built-in functions. One is the file read and the second one is the read matrix. So let me show you these two examples. Okay, so go to the MATLAB. Suppose this is your unidata 1. Now let me give you unidata 2 is equals to, first of all I'm going to show you the file read operation. File read, and the name is uni I score data 1 dot txt. This is your one way. Okay, then let me show the comparison. So unidata 2, here you can see this is it's categorizing as a character data or a string data. Okay, you are not able to get a table this time. Okay, but still now you are able to import the data inside your MATLAB, but this time it's not representing as a tabular format, so it's not desirable. Now go for another fashion, that is the unidata 3. So read matrix. So the same name, so I'm just simply copying it. Now this is the unidata 3. So this is my original data, unidata 1. Here you can see the format is a table. This is the unidata 2 that I have given as a file read, so it's showing as a character data. And unidata 3 that I have import or read the data through the read matrix. So over here you can see this is showing as a double, so double click on it. Okay, now here's the interesting part. Here you can see all the characters value, they have been expressed or they have been transferred to non-value, non-applicable values. Okay, so in the first row, in the first column, you have the the name of different uh, departments, but right now it's showing the non-value. So that's the thing you have to understand, for which sorts of data you have to import or you have to use which built-in function, otherwise you will get a tremendous error. So out of these three method, so from this perspective you can see import data is the most effective one, because it's automatically it's going to detect whether what type of data it is, so it's going to give you a dynamic version. Now go to our next part, that is the mat files. So here you can see there are some binary format used to store variables, arrays and other data. They allow you to save and load your workspace variables efficiently between sessions or across programs. There are some sample mat files already provided by the MATLAB. To read the mat files in the MATLAB, you use the load function. Okay, so what's a mat file? So mat file is nothing but, so right now at this moment I have created these four variables: unidata 1, unidata 2, unidata 3 and world cities. So if I want to suppose every time whenever I am opening my MATLAB, I don't want to uh, store, or I don't want to import every time these four different sorts of parameters, different sorts of data sets. So what I can do, I can store these variables and these datas using a mat function. Okay, then whenever I am calling those mat function, or I am calling those mat file, so whatever that variable name, whatever the data set you have, it will be directly called. Okay, so in our MATLAB, there are some built-in like these data sets and the variables that are already available inside our MATLAB. Okay, so that whenever we want that particular variables, suppose over here you can see I have only four different variables, and under the four different variables we have four different types of values. Okay, so let me just simply copy this load fatalities.mat. If I just simply copy this and paste it, now there is a new variable, that is the fatalities. Okay, go to the fatalities. Here you can see under fatalities different uh, rows or different samples are available, and under the samples different columns. For different columns different values are available. So I haven't import any sort of data set right now. So what I have done, under this suppose District of Columbia, longitude, latitude, dates, these values are already stored inside the MATLAB. Okay, so I am just calling it, and they are the .mat files. Okay, so there are various .mat files, so just you have to search those things from your MATLAB. So to have the idea, just go to any internet resources to see how many different mat files are available inside our MATLAB. So according to that name, just you may call another load files or another files. Now, the image processing part, that is the image data that you have. So you have different sorts of image data. Maybe some you have typically we have the RGB image. Okay, so there are other sorts of data like the gray image data, binary image data. There is some indexing image data. So there are the various image pattern, and as well as there are various extensions that are also available like JPG, JPEG, PNG, uh, different patterns. Now, what's the effect or what's the purpose of using this image processing? So the object detection, that's one of the vital or one of the most recent words that you will heard, the object detection. So every time whenever you are detecting some object or you are doing some image segmentation process, so image processing is there. Okay, through the computer vision, you are going to identify something, or you are going to find out whether it's a cancerous cell or not, or whether it's a cat or dog, or whether the car is coming, or whether the car is at which speed. So all these things. So whenever you want to try, or whenever you want to find out, you have to go through some image processing techniques. Okay, so over here it's a very simple image processing process. Okay, so what is been done, it's been done in this particular portion. So first of all, a RGB image will be imported in my MATLAB. Then that RGB image will be converted into a gray image. Then it will be converted into a binary image. Okay, so RGB image. Now, what's RGB image? I have already shown you that this is an RGB plane. Okay, now RGB image is what? This is an RGB image. Okay, a colorful image. This is a RGB image. Okay, now what's a gray image? Gray image is like this. Okay, in a RGB image, you have three different channels. You have three different channels in a RGB image. One is the red, green, and blue. Okay, but in a gray image, instead of these three channels, in a gray image you will have only a single channel, and under that particular single channel you will have the value from 0 to 255, only a single channel. Okay. So like this. Okay. uh, okay, so it will be a single channel, there will be a single channel, and under the single channel you will have the value. Suppose there is a pixel over here, there is a pixel over here. Okay, so under this pixel you will have a value range between 0 to 255. So it will have a value of 0 to 255, okay, for a single pixel. But there is another source of image that I have already mentioned, the binary image. Again, you will have only a single channel or a single panel, what you might say. And suppose here you have the pixel. Okay, so this pixel value will vary only under 0 or 1, like a binary part. Okay, so this is a gray image. Okay, it's a simple single panel channel, single panel image, and under the single panel image, for each pixel, suppose over here there is a pixel, each pixel value it will be covering from 0 to 255. But if you go for a binary image over here, you can see this is a binary image. Some part is white, some part is black. Okay, some part is again white, black. So 0 represents it's a white, and black means it's a 1. Okay, so these are the three different types of image. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to import these images in my MATLAB. So suppose this is the image function, or the image that I'm going to store, and what type of image it is. It's, first of all, I have to read this image. Okay, now what is the name of that image? That is the images.jpg, that this particular image I want to convert it. Okay, so write images.jpg. So first of all, this image has been stored. Okay, then this is a RGB image, so I want to convert this image to gray image. Okay, so how I can do this thing? Suppose this is image gray, that is RGB to GRAY, gray, and whatever the value this is, I want to store it. Sorry, it will be GRAY. Okay, so if I want to visualize this particular image, so how it will looks like. So again, I am show image gray. So right now this is a gray image, this is the RGB image, and this is the gray image. Okay, now I want to convert this gray image into some sorts of binary image. So how I can do this thing? Suppose this is my binary image. Now, to convert a gray image into a binary image, that is, I am binarize. So which image I have to convert into a binary image? First of all, to convert any image into a binary image, the basic procedure is something like this: RGB to gray, then gray to binary. Okay, so I am binarize the gray image that I want to convert, that is image underscore gray. Now again, let me show, I am show image binary. So this is the binary image. Okay, so you have only zeros and ones, nothing else. Okay, now let me just show this all the image under a single frame. So first of all, it's image, then it's image gray, and the last one is the image binary. Okay, so montage will do this thing under a single frame. It is going to show the three pictures. So over here, this is a blank space, there is nothing else. Okay, so if you give any other picture, then it will be shown over here. Right at this moment I have only three pictures. So this is the RGB image, this is the gray image, and this one is the binary image. Now the next portion of this lab is the text data. How you are going to work with different text data. So let me show you a simple text data that I have already written over here. So this is a simple line, that is the data analysis require clean data because the data quality directly affects data analysis results and data driven decisions. Okay, so this is just a random line. Okay, it doesn't need to mean anything. It's just I'm going to show you something that a new topic, a new built-in function that is called the word cloud. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to import this text data into my MATLAB. Okay, so let me clear this thing. Now, how I can import this text data. Okay, so it's been already given over here. The file is the file read. So look over here, this is the unidata2. Okay, so for this particular thing, what we have done, we have used the file read function. So in the file read function, it's suitable for the text format data or some string or character data, it's suitable. Okay, so that's why I am going to use the file read function. Okay, so this is the text data is equals to file read. Now what's the name? It's the text.txt. So this is the text data. So here you can see it's showing as a character data, and all the characters are properly stored. So there is a very nice thing that is called the word cloud. Okay, word cloud, then text data. Okay, so in this pattern, if you give more text data, it's going to show you like this way. Now, what's the effect of this this word cloud? Okay, so the pattern is something like that. At the center, okay, at the center, which word will be mostly used, or which word has been frequently used, that word will be placed at the center and it will be much more bolder. Okay, so from this figure we can see that data is the most frequently used word. Then the next frequently used word is called the analysis, and all the other words that data driven, requires, affects, results, all this word has been repeated only for a single time. Okay, so what's the text data? Text data. So data, there is one, two, then you have three. So three times data has been appeared. Now analysis, one, two, sorry, over here, two, only two times. Analysis, this particular word has been appeared only two times. So that's why data has been presented or represented at the center and with the orangish color, or the most bold one. Okay, so that's why it's been repeated for three times, it's two times, and all other words only repeated for a single time. So that's why they are in the shorter font. Now our next part, that is the tabular data. Okay, so we are going to create some table data this time. Up to now we have imported some table data, but this time we are going to create some table data. Okay, so this is the there are the names, then there are the IDs, there are the genders, then the CGPA and the department. Okay, so five columns and maybe five names. Yeah, the five columns and five rows. Okay, so we are going to just import these datas. Okay, so it's the code is already available. Only change is that let me copy it first. Okay, so this is the part, this is the code. Okay, so what I'm going to do, these are the names, IDs, gender, CGPA, department. So there are the five columns. Okay, so when you are going to create, when you are going to create a particular table, if you have uh, for a single sample, okay, or for every sample, it needs to have the same number of features. Okay, so for a particular, suppose for this particular string, or for this particular name, it needs to have five features: the name, the ID, the gender, the CGP and department. If any one of them is missing, then it's not going to make a table. Okay, now you have these five different columns, and you want to create a table. So the built-in function is called the table. The name, this already given. The built-in function is the table. The built-in function is the table. Okay, there is an error. The reason is that it's showing that all the table variables must have the same number of rows. So okay, let us go back. So the name, there are the five component names, fine. There are again the five component names, fine. There are again five components, again five components. So one row, five rows. Okay, sorry, one column, five rows. But the department, it's been given you as a single row, five columns. So it shouldn't be like this, right? So what I have to do, I need to just convert this department from a row vector to a column vector. So how I can do this thing? So the very, okay, let me just copy this part only. Okay, so I have to convert this department row vector to a column vector. So only a simple apostrophe will do this trick. So right now it's been stored as a column vector this time. Okay, so right now using the table function. So this is the, suppose data underscore one is equals to table. To create the datas, or to merge the datas and to create a table function, a table data, you have to use the table. Then whatever the IDs, first of all the name, then the ID, then you have the gender, then I want to store the CGPA, then the department. Okay, fine. So here you can see data underscore one. There I have the five columns. Okay. So where is it? There is the data one. So here you can see the under the name there are the five values, then ID five values, gender five values, CGPA five values. Under the department there are other five values. Okay. So a very simple thing. Now another thing is that uh, let me give you another data 2 is equals to the same thing. Okay, the same thing. Okay, so only thing is that I am going to change over here. There is a parameter that is called the row names is equals to name. Okay, okay, the name convention is a little bit different. That is the row names. Okay, so there is another feature that is the row names. Okay, let me run it. Now, here you can see the difference. So what's the difference over here? So now this is the data one. Okay, this is the data one and this is the data two. Right. Now, one interesting factor over here is in our previous table, the rows, they don't have any sorts of name. Okay, just simply go to that part. Here you can see there are rows, they don't have any names in our previous table. But in our data 2, here you can see under the indexing 1, here you have a different name right now. Okay, so that's the effect of using the row names. This time you can name your rows with a different variable name. Now, how you can access different data? Okay, how you can access the different data. Suppose for this particular data one, okay, so for this particular data I want to access only this gender section, only this gender column. So how you can access the datas? So what you have to do, the variable that you have created, or in the variable you have stored your table, you have to give that name. So for our first part, the data underscore okay, so data underscore one. Okay, I want to access the gender column. Okay, I want to access this part, only this column. Then the process is what? First of all, you have to give the variable name, that inside that variable you have stored the table. Then you have to give the dot. Then which column you want to access. Okay, you have to give that column name. That I want to access the gender column. So in this way, you can access the gender column. Okay, fine. Now, instead of accessing a particular column, if you want to access a particular point, suppose you want to access this particular row, how you can go those things? So these things are also available in your lab sheet. So to access over here you can see by column name, okay, you can access that particular structure. Now using the curly braces you can access the data directly. Okay, so over here in the first section we are only considering or only fetching the column data. Okay, but right now suppose I want to fetch all the values from the row number 2. Okay, from the row number 2. So how I can fetch this thing? So again data underscore 1. So when you want to fetch the data directly from the table, okay, fetch the data, first of all you have to give the row number. Okay, then suppose I want to fetch all the columns, so you have to give the you have to give the column. Then all the column values will be available. No, I don't want to fetch only a particular column 1 and particularly column 2. Then you just need to manipulate the column values. Okay, so suppose it's 2 comma underscore 1 colon 2. So then you are only accessing the first two columns from the second row. So this is another approach how you can access the data. Then in the next part here you can see that is in this particular line of code. Okay, so what is going to show over here? It's going to show the row 2, from a row 2 to row 4, only the CGPA column. Okay, then in the next part it's going to show all the rows, but for column 1 and column 3, and the second one is column 2 and column 4 only. So let me run this line of code. So data underscore 1, then I am directly accessing the values all the columns. Then I want to access only column 1 and column 3. Okay, so only 1 and column 3 values will be fetched. Now how you can, okay, another thing is that look over here, that is the Beneflek. Okay, the first part, the data v2. So under the data 2, I have given some name, right? I have given some name. So for the rows, so via the row name, I can also call different datas as well. Data 2. So the row name is suppose this. Okay, this is the row name, and I want to fetch all the values. Okay, so at that time, all the values will be fetched. Okay. Now, in the later part, we are going to modify our table data. Okay, so how you can table or how you can change any data. So first, one thing is that you have to access that particular point. Okay, you have to access to that particular point, and from that point, you have to change the variable or change the value. Suppose in the particular section, the ID name is converted to 200. Okay, so where is the ID? Let me go. This is the data one. So ID, this is the first value. Okay, so 112, I need to convert this 112 to 200. Okay, so data underscore one, and I want to change first the first one, the ID. The name is this way. Okay, ID, and it's 1 into, suppose it's 222. So this time here you can see the particularly 112. From 112 it's right now 222. Okay, so access that particular value and you can directly change it. Other way is that, okay, fine, so instead of again this approach, you can also access the values and change all the values. Okay, so here is the way: Henry Cavill and CGPA. Okay, so I am just calling that particular name, particular row, and only the CGPA. And whenever you want to access in this way, this is in this two part, it's being done with the column name. But if you don't want to use the column names, you want to go through the row wise or directly the value wise, then this is the approach. Okay, so over here, like this is initially it was 112 and right now it's 222. Okay, so this is data underscore one. Then what are the values? The values are like, there is 1 comma, and this is the id. The value I need to provide, suppose it's 3000. Oh, sorry, needs to be the first column. Sorry, first bracket. Okay, so in this way you can also access and change the variable value. Okay, now you have created a table, and right now you want to add some other column or some other row values. Then how you can do this thing? Again, suppose this is your another column, you want to add this thing. Okay, so what I can do, I have to just, first of all I have to just give the table name that you have initially created. Then you have to give the dot, and then whatever the new parameter or what will be the new column, you have to give this, and you have to give the values in a column vector. column vector. Okay, otherwise if you want to give in a row wise, then this is the way that you need to follow. So this is the sixth column, sixth row, this is the sixth row, and this is the all columns, and you have to provide all the column values. Okay, now exporting table. So you have fetched the datas. Okay, you have fetched you have imported the datas, and right now you want to export it, or you want to save it inside your PC. So what's the way? This is the built-in function that you have to use, the write table. The write table that you have to use. So write table, and the data that I have stored, that is the, suppose the data underscore 1. Okay, so here you can see this is the data modified.csv, the name that I have given. So under the same directory where my MATLAB is currently right now, at that part, this MATLAB is going to store that data inside your PC. Okay, now let us come to the last part of this uh, section B. Okay, now let us see this is the sort rows. Okay, so if you give if you just apply the sort rows, then it's going to sort the value under the first column, by the first column. Or if you want to sort that particular row, or sort particular according to some particular column, then you have to provide the values. Suppose let me show it to you. So this is the first table. Okay, so sort rows. So just simply give the data underscore 1. So here you can see Henry Cable. So it's been via the first column. Okay, B, then H, then L, then Z, in this way. Okay, but I want to sort it in terms of the CGPA. So from the ascending order, from the low to high. Okay, so again, just I'm trying to copy it. Then you have to provide the column name via which it should sort. So this time here you can see that it's been sorted from the lowest CGPA to the high CGPA. Or if you want to skip a particular column, so that is the remove var. Okay, so from where you have to remove it, from the data, and which column, that department column. So the value is, suppose the data underscore 1, and I want to skip the column that is the CGPA, suppose. So CGPA. So right now the CGPA column has been vanished. Okay, so at this moment, if I try to find out the total summary of this data 1, so here you can see there is the string variables, and what's the ID, what is the minimum, maximum, median, and again from the CGPA what is the maximum and median as well. But from the gender column, it's showing as a 5 by 1. It's a 5 by 1 matrix. Okay, so here is the important part or interesting thing of the categorical data. So if I convert this to convert any particular column into a categorical data type, okay, then the keyword is the categorical. So data underscore 1 dot gender is equals to that gender column I want to convert it to categorical data. So categorical, so which one? That will be data underscore one dot gender. So over here, this is a string variable, but right now it's converting into some categorical data. Now go for the summary. Let's go on. So this time here you can get some counting as well. So from the female there are 2 data points, and from male there are the 3 data points. So that's it from the section B. Then we will go for the section C.